legends never die!
Tonight on Behind the Details with Chelsea, we sit down with special guest Jessica Tran to discuss the impacts of social media and TikTok with detailing, the LA fires, and so much more. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Jessica Tran. Can you guys hear us okay?
Thank you.
So I have to be honest. I just told Jessica a second ago. I made that intro like the day that TikTok was canceled, and then like 12 hours later it was back. So contextually, it was accurate. I actually
At the
still
time.
can't. I can't download TikTok because I was one of those weirdo people that was like, "F, it's gone. What's the point of having it on my
phone?
phone?" I deleted it because I was like, I mean, save the memory on my phone. Let's move on. So now I'm like banished. It's awful. So I'm finding that I never was a TikToker to begin with. I couldn't get into the algorithm. I couldn't figure out like how to do videos within TikTok successfully. And
I think it's because you're too smart and you're a mom and your life is too together. Because the more unhinged you are, the better you'll do on TikTok.
Well,
and you're just not unhinged enough.
Isn't it like the running joke though that like your generation is TikTok and my generation is like Instagram watching TikTok like 2 weeks after it's aired?
Yes.
Like that. I just basically watch it on Reels or YouTube Shorts like two weeks after. So it's fine. But I want to welcome everyone to the show. We've already got a bunch of people chatting in the chat group. I know I haven't done a live in several weeks, so we're still kind of getting the rust off of the wheels on this thing. But Jess, I got to meet you last year at the Creator Summit and totally just jived with your personality. You're just a breath of fresh air within the detailing industry. You're upfront. Like what you see online is what you are in person. And your videos are not only extremely educational, which I love, but they're hilarious. Like you have just a really chill personality. I can only imagine what you're like with your group of friends at home after you're done working.
It's pretty bad in my personal life. I feel like if you were to sit in our conversations, it's completely brain rot for 24/7. So but yeah, I think you touching on that was kind of the goal. I always came into anything social media related without I did my best not to be somebody I wasn't, because I was like, I physically don't have the mental capability to keep this persona up. So when I entered, I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Like I am what I am because I don't have the energy to be like someone else, quote unquote. If I were to ever sorry, I'm on my phone here. If I would ever like run into someone in person, I was like, dude, I can't pretend to be something I'm not. So
yeah. Well, how did you get your start into detailing? I don't think I've ever like heard that story.
oh, it's high school actually. So it was a high school job. I had a basketball coach and he was a mobile detailer. And after practice or like during off season for basketball, he offered all of us girls like, dude, $20 if you want to come help me wash some wheels, wipe some windows. It was a flat rate. He had like a mobile wash kind of thing. It wasn't even like detailing. And looking back, I'm like, we fucked up a lot of cars. Like the proper wash was not being used. We were using beach towels to dry cars. It was crazy. But I took his offer up, and a lot of girls took his offer up. And it was like a summer stint that would kind of just last the one summer, or would last whenever we had enough money to go to the movies, and it would be that. But I genuinely loved cleaning so much. I did it like essentially year round. Like we were in season for basketball, and I'd be like, "Do we have a car this weekend?" He was like, "Well, I have a car this weekend. You don't have a car this weekend. You're in school." And I was like, "Oh, can I do a car with you?" And then so it took off. I went off to college in San Diego. So I'm from Orange County. San Diego is 2 hours south. I went to college. And I was still asking him on the weekends, like, I can drive back and help you wash a car. And he was like, no, dude, you're in college. Like, enjoy college.
Were you hooked with the paycheck, or were you hooked with the before and afters?
I was hooked with the before and afters because it was not good money. I mean, it was really, and also he's a really good guy, and I think I enjoyed being around him for like a mentor kind of presence. 'Cause I will say he taught me how to drive. If I left, my mom taught me how to drive, and I was like the classic like shitty Asian driver swerving everywhere. And then I was driving one day, I was driving us to an appointment or to lunch or something. He was like, why are you driving like that? And I was like, I don't know, this is how you drive. He goes, no, you're driving like an Asian driver. Stop it. So I accredit a lot of like what I know, undetailing related, because yeah, looking back, we really messed some cars up. But I accredit a lot of what I know in life to him. Um, like the way that I pack my cars, I never would have thought to even have like a first aid kit in my car. And he's like, you gotta have a first aid kit in your car. And then when I went camping with my friends for the first time, he goes, oh, these are like necessities to bring on camping. You never know, you might have an emergency. And sure enough, we went and we had the emergency, and all the stuff that he told me to bring just in case came in handy. So now every time I go camping, I think of him because I pack what he told me to pack that first time. But I think I was really hooked on detailing, one, because I enjoyed cleaning, but two, he was just like a great guy to hang around with, and he taught me so
Mhm.
much. So that kind of turned into what it is. I was detailing with him, detailing in quotes here. I was washing cars with him for 2.5, almost 3 years.
Okay.
And then he was like, yeah, it's time to retire. It was like a side hustle for him anyway. It wasn't like his full-time job. And he was like, yeah, you can like do it on your own. Take whoever I have, like take the rest of my towels if you want. And I did. And then just tanked, dude. I was 19. I wasn't ready to like consult with customers because he did all of that. He
Yeah.
would make the appointments. He would do this. I would just show up and have a good time cleaning cars. So when he handed it over, I destroyed it. I just Everyone who's watching, Chelsea knows I won't check my phone. I just won't. I won't reply to anything, and so
Maybe
I
once a
stopped
month.
replying. I stopped replying to customers. He'd be like, "Oh, can I get a wash?" And I'd be like, I'd read the text and be like, "I don't really feel like doing a wash," so I just like wouldn't reply. And then like 10 days later, when I felt like doing the wash, I'd be like, "You still want that wash?"
Found
So
someone already. Yeah.
yeah, obviously the business did not do well, completely died, but I still stuck with cars. And I think this is kind of where I really honed my detailing craft. I just really wanted to keep doing it. So my car was pristine, my friends' cars were pristine. Like I worked on it a lot. And I was always doing it on the side for free for myself, for my friends, for my family. Um, and then I was getting really good at it, so I started charging on the side, and like it was a side hustle, and it was a side hustle for like 5 years because like I was like dead set on opening a restaurant, like fully set on opening a restaurant, and then COVID hit, and then I had to make a lot of money without my restaurant job, and so detailing took off. I started posting some of my stuff like before and afters, and people were enjoying that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like make a full video, and then people really enjoyed that. I'm like, I'm gonna make another video, and then it kind of turned into what it is.
Yeah. Well, so as far as learning detailing, were you pretty much self-educated? I mean, you had a mentor, and but you're kind of saying your techniques weren't that great to
Yeah,
begin with. So like
they were really bad.
I've seen your videos. I know the type of and like result that you're putting out there for your customers, and it's bar none. It's like, how did you get to that point? Did you take classes?
I did not, completely self-taught, just from trial and error. I taught myself how to polish, I think, on my Honda Civic. And then honestly, just YouTube. Like if I didn't know something, I'd look it up, and it was like a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube, and I would watch videos, I'd dissect the comments, I'd do the scientific method, but I tried what they were saying in the video, and if it didn't work, I'm like, oh, this guy's full of shit. I'm not watching his videos anymore. But it was just a bunch of self-educating. I actually don't have any kind of detail accreditation. Actually, that's not true. I took a class. What did I do? Who did I take a class with? I
Probably
took a
detail wise.
class. I did. That's right. Okay, I did. I
You and
pretty
I
sure I took.
actually that's where we first met, was at the detail wise
That's
class.
right.
You
I
were
took a
teaching it though.
But no, then I took another class just to take a class. I think it was after I taught that class, I took a detailing class just to have a certificate to put on my wall at work. But this was like recently, like a year and a half ago. But
No IDA or nothing like that?
no, no IDA. No IDA, no nothing. I think I reached out, or I was thinking about reaching out to Chris from G Technic because I was like, "Oh, I should probably have like a G Technic board or banner in my shop because we only use G Technic." And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna text him later. And then just with how
You
I am with
forgot.
texting, the text never went out. So yeah,
So if you're
but
watching this video back in the future, this is me reminding you to follow up with G Technique to get the banner. So
there, okay, see, exactly. Yeah,
I'll I'll text you later. How's that?
yeah, and then I'll reply to that like in 30
Like a
days.
month. No. I mean, do you think there's any merit to having, other companies' branding in a shop and things like that? I've always heard people kinda saying, your business, your logo should be what you're representing versus another brand. Do you feel like there's any merit? Do customers even care about that stuff where you guys are at?
I think it helps if you're starting out, but I would kind of have to agree with that because all the banners that I have in my shop, they're not front and center. They're actually like tucked away in a waiting room. Um, as far as when you walk in, it's
Mhm,
just my business name, and then if you go get a coffee in my waiting room, you'll see. And a lot of the banners that I have up is just because we're friends. Like I love Chris from Veros Car Care, so I put a Veros poster up there.
mhm.
I love the stoner guys. Skylar's incredible, so there's a stoner banner hanging up there. Sydney is great from PNS, and Dave and Bob, so I put a PNS thing up there. But oh, and then Burke. I love Dave, so it's like a big like Burke
It's
fest in my
basically
waiting
the
room.
creator summit. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically everything that I have up, it's just me trying to help support my friends. But as far as me wanting a G Technic banner, I was like, I probably should because everyone ceramic is like the biggest ticket item on most detailers' menus,
Mhm.
right? So everyone, all the customers are always asking what kind of coating, what kind of coating, what kind of coating, and I just wanted to say, I just wanted to advertise like we're G Technic installers because I will really only use a G Technic coating, so.
Have you tested other ones?
I have. And we actually at one point had two other coatings that we were offering the shop, and it wasn't delivering the way that I wanted it to. I think I don't know if it's like weather based or what, but G Technic does really well and holds up really well here in Southern California. And so at one point for like a 6 to 8 month block, we were offering another brand, and those cars when they came back were not looking as sharp as the G Technic cars that we had that we did from the day that we opened. So some of the coatings from like a later installation was looking like already kind of washed out
Mhm.
in comparison to the G Technic. So I'm like, this isn't worth it, for an easier install process, quote unquote. So we switched back to G Technic.
Now, I saw you did a video the other day where you just put on EXO V5. Is that primarily what you use? Will you layer them with CSL than EXO?
Yeah, so we sell the CSL and EXO. The stack is our 5 year, and then EXO V5 is our most popular option because it's the most affordable. And
Mhm.
I sell EXO as a 1 year, although it's technically rated for two. And actually
But
a
it's
one
really
and
a
a half
one.
too. Yeah, but I sell EXO as the 1 year. That is our most affordable option as far as like someone who wants a ceramic coating.
Mhm.
So that is actually our most popular coating. Dude, we'll pop out like 8 to 10 of those a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, as far as the 5 year, maybe 2 to 3 5 years a month. I think realistically the 5 year, I don't know. I think most people just like don't expect to keep their cars for 5 years, so they kind of go like, oh, let's just do the EXO because it's technically 2 years, and then if you take care of it, you can stretch it to three, and so that makes the most sense for a lot of people. I myself don't even have the 5 year on my car. I have EXO on all my cars.
Do you go through cars quickly?
I just bought one today, so I literally
As I
just
say,
bought one today.
I mean, half of your content I feel like is becoming the mom to this generation. Like you've been sharing tips on like how to buy cars and how to put a down payment down, and I'm like, I feel
Yeah,
like this is very common sense, but for some reason some people in this generation
yeah.
are just not getting these things, and I feel like
I
you
think
break
it's
it
just
down in a
not
very
being, yeah, it's
basic
not being
way.
talked about. So, I think if we just talk about it more, it'll be more common knowledge. But yeah, I just bought a car today. I don't know if you saw my story. Someone brought in a
I'm
CRV,
not
and
on
then
TikTok, Jess. I can't see
no,
it.
on Instagram.
Oh, it's on
On
Instagram. Okay.
Instagram, I posted on my Instagram story that one of my customers brought in a CRV, and it was so cool. It was an older one, and so I posted, if anyone knows like an older CRV, let me know. And then a couple followers got back, and the right one is actually in Arizona, so I got to go pick that up in a couple weeks. But yeah, I
How
just
many
got one today.
eh, did you get rid of something else or do you just add to it?
I did. I didn't get rid of it yet, but I have my friends buying my Honda Accord, my CB7. So I'm trading my 1991 Honda Accord for a 1997 Honda CR-V. And then I'm going to lift it. I'm going to PPF it satin black. I'm going to bedline all the trim, lift it, put some all-terrain tires on it and a roof rack, and it's going to be really funny looking.
So you like older vehicles, but you like kind of modifying them
Yeah.
in a different way.
Well,
So
I think maybe it depends on the vehicle. My 1991 Accord, I kept it stock because it was like white and it had like a very grandpa vibe, so I kept it the way it is. But I think the CRV has the potential to look like a really cool, goofy off-roading thing. So I'm trying that. Um,
said no one ever, but okay. I would never imagine. I don't know why the Honda CR is it the one that has like the big back end where it's kind of sticking out, or is it the one where it just kind of has the
no, it's
nice
really
body
flat.
line?
I think in your
Okay.
head you got to go way, way, way back.
Way, way back.
This is like the first generation CRV. The back opens sideways, not
Okay.
up. And
Okay.
then
I
there's
remember
a
those.
table in the back. So you pull the table, you pull out the cover, the trunk cover, and it's a full on table. It's pretty cool.
I can see you
Yeah.
having fun with that.
Yeah. I think this might end up being my favorite car to date. But yeah, I just bought one today. I think so. I think you're sorry. I got so excited that I bought it today. I went off on this tangent. But as far as how many cars I have, they're all Japanese, except for the one I'm sitting in now. I'm sitting in a Tesla. But
Is that yours?
I officially no, it's my mom. My mom bought it. She hated it because she lost so much money on it. And then I was looking for a daily to drive, and I was like, well, I don't really want it. And she goes, I don't really want to sell it to your uncle. And I was like, well, I'll buy it from you. So I bought it for my mom. Haven't paid her yet. She's the kind of person who won't expect payment. So
Let's hope she's not watching this.
no, she there's no way she could
She'll be
even
like,
figure out how to
just
log
you owe
in.
me.
Yeah, we did this whole negotiating thing for this Tesla because I was like, I don't want the Tesla, but I do want like a daily driver because my Tundra was too much gas. My GR86 couldn't fit my groceries. The 4Runner's also too much gas. And then so I was like, this car actually makes sense. It fits my dogs. But I'm not willing to buy it for the price that it's at. And so we did all this negotiating. We ended up settling on $20,000 when it's worth like 30. So she cut me a deal. Um, and then I was like, okay, sounds good. Let me know when you want the money. And I haven't heard anything yet. So I've been
Oh, she's
driving
a
this for
good
free.
mom. She
Yeah.
probably knows she's intentionally not collecting, but maybe one day you piss her off enough, she's gonna be like, I'm slapping you with a note.
Yeah. I know. So this car, it has been nice having this car just because, and it's gonna sound so terrible because I know Teslas are a little bit nicer, I guess. They're considered almost a luxury car, but I truly hate Teslas.
Yeah, I
So
think every detailer hates the interiors. I actually love the
exactly.
exterior. I
Because it's so
will
easy to work on,
I
right?
will ceramic coat a Tesla any day of the week. You give me
Yeah.
like all Teslas, I would be fine. But the interiors, and they all own pets. Like every Tesla owner I know has pets. So
Yeah.
then you've got all that pet hair in that crap carpet. And then
Yeah,
on
this
white
carpet is
vegan leather.
worse.
Yeah.
I'm on the white leather. It's so
Mm-hmm.
bad. It stains so easily.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just not a good idea. I don't
yeah.
Elon needs to do some modifications on the interior. But the
Something.
exterior, keep it on. I mean, I love
Yeah,
that
because
there's no grill.
it's so flat and it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy as far as like paint protection PPF
Well,
too, like
you've got a
easier to
roof that you
easier.
don't even have to polish. I'm like, it's just
Exactly.
three sides. It's awesome.
Yeah. Working on a
So
Tesla is super nice. But I will say, yeah, I personally don't like Teslas. So as horrible as this sounds, is like I love this car because it's my beater car. So I don't worry about it at all. Like I stress about every car that I'm in. I stress about my truck. I stress about, a spill. I stress about obviously the paint on the outside. But this Tesla, I don't care. It's not mine. It's free. So I literally have pushed a shopping cart with this car. I've never done that in any car. And this car, I'm like, you know what? Let's just move the car and I'll just start rolling and drive it. So it sounds terrible, but I love this car because it is my beater car. I don't care about it at all. And it's so freeing to have a free car that you don't care about. So
I'll
yeah.
take your word for it. I wouldn't know. I've got a 2014 Subaru Outback that's paid off, and I'm like waiting for it to die so I can get something. But then my husband's like, "No, we're giving it to the kids." I'm like, "It never dies. I
It's
just
not
want
gonna
to."
die.
It never
That's
does.
yeah.
So, but anyways, we're totally like going all down these rabbit hills, which is awesome because I can tell you're a car girl. Like you're a true car girl. Do you get the whole like engines and all of that aspect of it, or are you still just more of a detail kind of car girl?
I'm handy enough. I do all of my own oil changes and like basic
Well,
maintenance stuff.
on the Tesla, that'd be really hard, you know?
Yeah. But I don't know. I sometimes customers think I'm more of a car person than I am, and they'll start going like, "This has the 4.0 fuel injection double," and I'm just nodding along like, "Sick, bro." I don't know what they're saying.
You're like, "I can clean it."
Yeah, I know. So, but I've learned a lot the last decade or so that I've been like really, really deep in this industry. I've learned a lot from talking to these car bros. Sorry, I just realized the sun's setting where I'm at. Let me turn the lights on. I've learned a lot more about cars, but I wouldn't say I'm super experienced with engines quite yet.
Well, let's go back to as far as the detailing side of things. You shared a little bit of how you kind of got into social media, but like, how did you figure out the magic to social media, to TikTok? Like, did it take a while for you to figure out your style and how to put together content that people like,
Uh,
when did you start to see your stuff go viral?
the first month,
For
yeah, it kept.
real?
Yeah, I
Oh, I
posted.
hate you. Ugh,
So
like, come on. I'm just
I
like,
was.
here I am saying it takes a lot of hard work. You gotta be nope, nope, not for you. Okay.
It was
Keep
a
on.
very calculated move on my end. I had been on TikTok as like a an avid watcher
Mhm.
for almost a year, and there's this guy on TikTok called the Pool Guy. He's that British
I
guy. And just
love him.
okay, so he almost never does a part
Hot
two.
at your pool boy.
Yeah, exactly. That I love that guy. He almost never does a part two. He always shows the results because there was so many detailing content, like detailers or just detailing content that I was watching on TikTok. It was
Mhm.
ASMR or it was split up in parts or it just they never showed the results or they weren't documenting enough before and afters, and I was like, dude, you got to show the whole thing. People love the Pool Guy because he shows the end of the result like every single video, and I think even to this day he's been posting on the app for like 5 years. He's done
Mhm.
like maybe 10 2 parts, but like every video that he does is like in one video.
Mhm.
So I knew that I wanted to do one part videos, and so I recorded a couple cars and I sat on them and I was like, I don't know, I don't think my content's that good. I didn't really do anything. And then finally I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like if it happens, it happens. So I made 3 videos and I dropped them all 3 in the same night. Because I was like, I want someone to go to my page and see that I'm not a one off and there's just one video. And
Okay.
then I made sure that all those 3 videos were 3 different cars in one part, fully before and after, explaining the process a little bit as I go. And then, yeah, I dropped all 3 videos that one night, woke up the next day, and then one of them had like 10,000 views, which was like crazy. For me, I was like, holy shit, like 10,000 people saw this. And then I posted one more. And as the week kept going on, like I think one of those videos hit 100K within like 3 days, which was crazy. And I was like, okay, there's something here. So I just kept posting, following
Now,
that same formula, like all one part videos.
but did you figure out like how frequently to drop videos? Like how long?
No, I'm pretty infrequent with my posting.
At this point,
And
yeah, I know you are.
and as far as like the longevity of it, I just try to keep it like sitting at a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
For
I think
real?
that's like a sweet spot for like attention span for TikTok. I'm not gonna like venture off and like make any claims on YouTube. I don't know how that algorithm works.
I don't either.
But
I mean, I'll be the
yeah,
first to tell you. I feel like I'm just throwing a dart and hoping something sticks, but
yeah. But whatever. Yeah, for TikTok, what works for me is like sitting at that 1.5 2 minute range. And then one part, no two parters.
okay. Well, and I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of yours is just your personality shining through. Like you have just a wicked sense of humor. It's kind of dry, but I mean, every single video, there's like little subtle comments, and I'm like, I can't believe she just said that. And I love it. I don't know why.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'm like just rambling on and then I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't post this. And then every time that I post something, I'm like, I don't know. I really do have this mentality, which is why when the whole TikTok ban happened, I didn't freak out at all. I actually, that night, I was working PPFing a Tesla until 6 in the morning. So I literally was like, I saw it happen when I was in the middle of PPFing it around like 8 p.m. And I worked until 6 a.m. I was so tired. I went to bed and I just blacked out, and by the time I woke up, it was back. So the TikTok ban did not affect me one bit. I literally was like, "Oh, they went through with it." Worked, 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 fell asleep, woke up, and it was back. Um, but yeah, the TikTok ban didn't stress me out too much because the way that I see social media and the way that I attack it is I literally don't care about it, which sounds really mean or like ungrateful, I guess, to say in the position that I am. I'm grateful that everything that it's given me, and I'm so grateful that I'm in this position, but I don't treat it like I'm owed anything from it. So then I just post with no fear. Like it is what it is. Because, if it turns on me, it turns on me. Because whatever I can get from it, whatever I have gotten from it, I'm super, super grateful for. But I don't feel like anything's owed to me when I post the next video, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't expect anything out of it. So because I don't expect anything out of it, I think I have less anxiety about posting. I just have a mentality of like it is what it is. If this gets me canceled and this is the end of the road, then it is what it is. So yeah, I don't have like a severe attachment to social media, which I think has helped me excel in social media.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there are times on the YouTube side of things, I detail, I would say part-time, it's not my full-time gig, but I have basically 50-50 between detailing and YouTube with editing and then 100% with kids and being married and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
But there are times that I feel like if I don't post, it affects the algorithm. When I have family or things going on and I'm like, I'm not going to post for 2 weeks. And then I come back and maybe I had momentum, to the point where my views, I don't know if you're familiar with like the YouTube analytics, but they'll show you like when your subscriber count is up and ad revenue is up, or like it'll show you kind of like you're stagnant or if it's going down. And it'll show either, trending down if I go like 14 days and I'm like, I was doing so good. And it's frustrating because it feels like it just wants to take and take. And even if I want to get to the point where I'm like, I don't care if it happens, it happens, you're just in the tank. And you're like, all that hard work that you've put
Yeah.
into it is just for naught. And it's frustrating. I would love to be on TikTok just to be able to be like, I don't care if it happens. Is that what you're telling me TikTok offers? Just ease?
No, there's definitely a downtrend if I don't post. I definitely get punished by TikTok if I take a little bit
But at
too long
1.6
of a
million
hiatus.
subscribers, what does a downtrend look like? Like 10%?
I don't look too much into my stats. I don't have analytics for you. So yeah, I mean, even when I do post, like I don't really look at the views so much either. I read the comments every now and then because I think it's fun and I think people are really funny and I love to engage in the comment section. But even then, like I don't notice when it's a lot of views versus a little view. I mean, I do the super viral ones. Very obviously, they stick out, and then it does feel overwhelming. But as far as like my average, I don't even know what that is.
For real?
Like I don't know what an average amount of views is a good average for me or yeah. I'll post because I'm telling you, Chelsea, like I'll post and I'll be like, fuck it, all right, that's it, done. Let's go to dinner and let's not think about this. And then I enjoy my time with my dogs or my friends
That
and my
is
family.
that is really refreshing, and I am so happy, and, like, honestly, it's, like, a good challenge to me because as a mom, I miss out on a lot on stuff that's going on with my kids because I feel like I'm wasting I don't wanna say wasting time because it's a gamble, you don't know if it's gonna pay off, but yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I just gotta get a little bit more Jess and just chill and see what happens.
Yeah, it is crazy. My friends, they're actually pestering me right now because it's been way too long. And they're like, "We want another video," and I'd be like, "I'm sitting here with you, enjoying my time with you. So you shut your mouth. I'm not posting a video. I'm not working on it. I'm having fun with dinner with you." And then so I have a really, really, really hard boundary to a point where it's a fault because again, if you notice, I haven't posted in like I don't know what 4 months, 6 months, and then before that, I think one video in the last 8 months or two videos in the last 8 months. But I have a really hard boundary of social media or working on social media interjecting in my personal life, and I think the more this business grows and the more the older I get, I think that boundary is getting harder and harder and harder. So I don't know if there's going to be this like huge TikTok comeback for me. I don't know if I'm gonna get to posting regularly, I would love that. But as Studio 94 grows, it just takes up more of my time, and my priority is always going to be like what's physically tangibly in my face, and what's in my face is like my customers. They're more important than a video. My shop, my friends, my family, they're more important than editing. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see where the TikTok future holds for me, but I mean, I'm happy with what I have. I am going to continue posting. I'm not saying like this is the end of the road, but as life moves forward for me, social media is kind of like down trending for me.
Well, that's a healthy boundary, and I feel like a lot of us probably need to have that approach with it because it is a
It
little bit of an
does,
addiction, and a lot of it
yeah.
an addiction.
It
So,
does take like a huge effort to make this happen. Like honestly, if the business weren't making money, if I couldn't pay my bills and like this was my income, like obviously I would have to treat this more of a job, but it takes like a huge effort from like everyone in my life that has allowed me to enforce these boundaries.
mhm,
Um so it's like, I'm in dual income. My girlfriend pulls in an income, so we have two incomes, we're not stressing for money, so that helps. At work, everyone does a really great job at work, and they all chip in really well, and we work together as a team pretty cohesively to where we can deliver a quality product, which that is bringing more people back in, not social media, so that helps, but if shit hit the fan, I would have to post more to bring in more, or to bring in more of a social media income kind of thing. But because every other aspect of my life from everybody else contributing and chipping in is going well, I'm able to like enforce the social media boundary.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is the I'm kinda ignorant when it comes to TikTok because that was just not a platform that I really felt like I could do well. So, like, what does the financial profit from TikTok look like? I mean, I know the YouTube side, and it's not that much. I've always imagined that I mean, they're short content typically, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna get a ton of ad revenue from a short form content, correct? Is it more
I
sponsors?
It's more sponsors, it's brand deals. I actually, as far as like TikTok paying me, I think I know the pay has gone up, but then when the pay went up, I stopped posting. But I think if you get like a million views or something, it's like it's called the RPM, right? So the rate per minute. I think you get like a couple cents, anywhere from like 50 cents to $1. So you could make like $1,000 off of $1 million video. I never have. I think the most I made was like 122 off of a video. But it
With a
brings in
million
like,
views.
yeah. But I think just having a lot of viewership and having a lot of following, like where I've made my money on social media, is definitely brand deals. It's not from TikTok. It's I don't know what was the last one I did was the car wash show. Super cool, by the way. I literally said yes to just like make a quick buck, and then I went to the car wash show, which you would think has no crossovers with detailing. It does. I now have like a wholesale towel guy. Auto Fiber was there. IK sprayers were there. The Rat Company was there. Like there is a crossover for the car wash show. So if there is any detail out there now, I sound like an ad, but like now I really believe in it. If there is any detail out there considering going to the ICA this year, like I definitely would recommend it. Because I think there's a lot of like they're willing to work with a lot more people, because the car wash industry, like these tunnel car washes, they're like $1 billion conglomerate. So like
Yeah.
they can offer stuff for really cheap. So I now have a wholesale towel guy that is the distributor for a big towel company that is selling the same product, but I'm getting it without the big name brand for 50% of the cost.
You just went
So
straight to Korea.
I went straight to the manufacturer, and those are the people that were at the car wash show. So it's
Yeah.
crazy. I literally didn't think like it was worth I didn't think I'd have fun there, because I'm like, I'm a detailer. I don't believe in tunnel car washes. Like goes against everything, against our field. But it's like there's a lot of people there that can help. And then any detailer too that's like struggling with marketing or advertising,
Mhm.
they actually it was pretty split between 50% of like these massive big tunnel car washes, and then the other half was like business marketing, from a small car wash to a detail business to a massive tunnel car wash. So now I do sound like an ad, but I'm going again this year just because I had so much fun last year. But again, sorry, I keep like swerving and staying away from
I'm
the
tracking.
question. Yeah, the majority of my social media company came from social media, came from like company brand deals, such as the car wash show paying me to go to the car wash show and take some footage.
Mhm.
I made more on that brand deal than I did in my 3 years on TikTok. Because TikTok doesn't pay. They just don't pay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
didn't you say that when we were at the Creator Summit, you had a brand or an ad campaign that it paid for your mortgage or your rent for like a year
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
California?
Yeah.
That's
And then
insane.
there
Can you
was
send that company my way? Because I'd really love my mortgage to be paid for a year.
I think,
Holy
yeah,
crap.
it's the brand use is where it's at as far as
Do
like
they seek you out or do you enter
they seek you
campaigns?
out. They
Okay.
seek you out. So that's why it does help to post
Mhm.
and to stay consistent and to be engaging, because your rate is based off of like your engagement. So the more you
Mhm.
engage with your viewers, the viewers will engage with you, and then the company will see, hey, your viewers are engaging with you a lot. They must
Mhm.
like your content. Yeah.
I
But
get
as far as
approached a
like,
lot. I get approached a lot by companies, but they'll like when they start off the message with "Hello, sir. We love your content." I'm like, I don't think you really watch my
yeah,
content.
yeah, they're not watching.
I'm like, okay, it's called Ram, but no, but it is a game sometimes that you've got to play when it comes to social media and like how far you want to go with working with companies and brands and sponsored content and things like that. And I
Yeah.
don't really I have one company that will pay me to do videos. Even if I integrate or I do a dedicated review, they're like, "Listen, we know it takes time, so we're going to like reimburse you for the time it takes, but it doesn't make me like I'm going to sell myself out to them and give them a positive review. I only do it with products that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
So I mean it's beneficial like that, but yeah. When it came to your TikTok channel, did that start to translate into like customers for you? Because I've always seen
Absolutely.
Instagram and TikTok were more for entertainment. I've never really seen them to act because like YouTube, I've got customers coming from like tri-state area because they saw a video. Do you get a lot of business from TikTok?
Yes, absolutely. I think pretty much every new customer was from TikTok. And then you do a good job and they would do word of mouth and they come back. But every brand new customer is from social media.
That's awesome. Do you,
Yeah, it
so
has helped immensely.
so even if you're not necessarily generating ad revenue from TikTok, it is going to help your business if anything.
Yes, yeah.
Is there a
So,
huge detailing market where you're at in Huntington Beach?
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's in the name, Huntington Beach. It's like beach cities it's all like, hoity toity beach cities people who want super clean cars. I'm one of them. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, car culture down here, it's not like it actually is pretty big car culture down here because everyone has a pretty nice car and they want to keep it
Mhm.
clean. So, and even if they don't have a pretty nice car, I mean, you look around and I'm sitting here in Seal Beach right now because I just dropped my brother off, and right in front of me is an Audi. I've got a G wagon, and I'm looking at like another AMG Mercedes. I don't know what kind, but people have nicer cars here, and with a nicer car, they do want to take care of it. And then those who don't even have a nice car, I think every car looks so clean and nice here that you kind of want to keep up, even in your little Honda Civic. I've had 3 Honda Civics, and I wanted to keep them super clean because like there's so many nice things here in Huntington. Like I want my Civic to look nice as well.
Now, where you're at in California, do you ever have to deal with water restrictions?
Yeah, as a mobile detailer, I did for a couple years. We had a really bad drought one year, and I only did waterless washes for a year and a half straight. It was the worst. Um, Hang on, my
Your
test just there.
yeah,
You go.
your battery's going to be dead when you're done with this.
Yeah, yeah. I had a. It was a year and a half. I only did waterless washes, and at that time, my waterless wash of choice was Griot's. That green water rinseless wash, still my favorite smell to this day.
It is. It's like watermelon, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's like super
Mhm.
fruity and nice. And then even to this day, I believe you're supposed to use a water reclamation mat, but nobody's really doing it, so I don't know.
Just
I haven't seen any detailer use it, but I know technically per the city rules, you're supposed to be doing it. If you're on the
now,
street, private property, you can do whatever you want.
Now you are about an hour away from where the fires are right now, right?
Yes, yeah.
So how like, where you're at now, are you dealing with ash? Are you seeing customers that are, like, bringing their cars to you to get try to get detailed from that?
There is a lot of ash. We actually do get a lot of wildfires pretty much every other year. So the ash is, sorry, it's doing it again. The ash is not that big of a deal. It does like ramp up with washes. But this year, weirdly enough, I think there's not that many people coming because I think these fires are so catastrophic rather than taking care of their wash. Like, this is the thing I really love about Southern California and California in general. Um, Everyone's really flocking to help the people in LA. So I think
Mhm,
that's the priority right now. Because there's a wildfire every year, every other year, and we're dealing with like ash, all in Orange County, all in LA County, and the washes really do ramp up. But this year, for how catastrophic the fires were, nobody's really maintaining their car. Like, the priority for a lot of people right now is just making sure LA's alive and well, which is crazy considering the rift between Orange County and LA. There's like a big like hard culture line between the two, and it's just somehow disappeared. And we're
mhm.
just all Southern Californians right now.
So, when it comes to dealing with cars, like, because apparently fires are just an everyday occurrence for you guys, um, how do you guys tackle that? Is just a standard wash sufficient, or do you have to have special steps added to the process?
Just a standard wash is good because the main thing with the ash is you just got to get it off.
Yeah.
It's really light. It's not sticky. As soon as you get it wet, it'll rinse right off. But you just got to get it off because ash has like a pH sitting at like 13 or something, like 12 or 13, something like that. So if it sits, it's gonna eat away. It's super caustic. It's gonna eat away at your paint or your coating or whatever's on it. So yeah, the thing with ash is just get it off the car as soon as you can. But it's nothing crazy. If it gets wet, it rinses right off.
Okay. Beyond, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I see you using products a ton on your TikTok channel, different Instagram, things like that. What are some of the products that you're enjoying the most right now?
I am a creature of habit. I think I've been using the same stuff for like almost 6 years straight.
That's not a bad thing. You're
Because
comfortable with it.
I believe in systems, and I
Yeah.
honestly feel like if you get the system down straight, you can get a car wash price down to like freaking $1 of product. Like, that's how you
Mhm.
make money, you know? You make money by lowering your over. I attack my business the same way I played basketball. This is another thing from that basketball coach who taught me how to detail. He taught me this in sports, and I literally apply it to like my everyday life. His main thing, he said, you can't like, as far as a basketball game goes, the other team can score as many like how did he say it? What was his line? Basically, defense wins games. Defense wins games as long as the other team you could score 100 points, and if the other team scored 101, you still lost. So the whole goal was to limit how many points the other team scores, and then you'll win the game because defense wins games. So I attacked my business and a lot of things in my life. I attack it from a defensive point of view. I don't think, hey, I need to book 15 more cars. I think of it as, if I can get my overhead down and make each car as profitable as it could, then that is a good foundation for building a business. So I've had the same products for like the last 6 years, same soaps, same wheel cleaner, same this, same that. I don't experiment too much because when I experiment, I find that it wastes money and it wastes time because then you have to get used to the new products. So I like to master the product that I have on hand and make it work for me so that it can attack if I've mastered the product, it can attack any variable it comes across.
S
Um,
so what are your go-tos then?
I've got Express Interior diluted 1 to 1 for
You turned me on
carpets.
to that. Agree. Yeah.
For carpets, McGuire Citrus Power Plus diluted 1 to 10. For exterior APC, Citrus Power Plus also works at 1 to 5. Um, Wheel cleaners is the one I experiment around with the most because a wheel cleaner is a wheel cleaner.
Yeah.
And then soap I experiment around with a lot because soap is soap.
Yeah.
But DIY's rinseless is used as a pre-soak and as a rinseless and as a waterless and as a glass cleaner and as an interior cleaner. DIY's rinseless. Um, Technician's Choice has been around for a long time. That's our ceramic detail cleaner or detail spray. We'll use that to finish down paint. We'll use that to finish down wheels. if need be, I can get it to finish down glass. So that's the thing where I believe in mastering a product. They're like, how do you get ceramic not to streak? I'm like, you can. If you detail it, if you master it, you can get any product to work the way you want, and then it cuts down on time. So I've even used Tech Choice on glass as a glass cleaner because it's already out, and I was using it on the paint. I'm like, let's go ahead and use it on the glass. Um, for our coatings, we use all G Technic, and then what other products do we use?
What's
I'm
your
like
favorite
racking my
sealant?
brain. Oh, we use G on wet coat is our sealant. If you get like a standard detail wash and wax, you're getting wet coat. It's been like that since day one. But right now, Jimbo, I like his sealant. It's fun.
The
It's
hardest shell?
scentless, hard to show. It's a
I haven't
nice
tried
one.
it yet. I've heard some decent stuff about it. So
Yeah, that's what's on my truck right now, and it's holding up really well. And if I do experiment, it's on my car. It's not being experimented on a customer's car.
I know you don't normally, well, you're a pretty truthful person. So what are some products that you've tried recently that just didn't hit?
Oh my God. Tech Choice makes an all-in-one clean interior cleaner. That is the worst thing I have ever used. It's like smearing watered down Vaseline on the inside of your car. It's so bad and it's so streaky. Uh, 3M has a wheel cleaner. Their non-acid wheel cleaner. It's pink. I bought a 5 gallon of it because a 5 gallon was like $60 as opposed to a gallon was like 25. I'm like, just give me the 5 gallon. Let's see if I like it. I don't like it. I'm throwing it in the trash. It's actually that bad. What else is there? There's a lot of bad stuff out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I wouldn't say it's not all bad, but it's
Not
just like,
bad.
eh.
Doesn't work the way that they hyped it up to work.
Yeah.
Which ones do you not like? You got to answer some questions now.
Uh, see, yeah. The problem is that a lot of them are just mid for me. Like I had
Yeah.
a bunch of oh, what's the brand that sold Suds Lab? Decent stuff, but it wasn't like wow, and they sent me a
Okay.
ton of stuff to review. There were a couple that I liked, and there were a couple that I was just like, I don't know what to do with this. Like
I
it's
had the same experience. And now that you might bring it up, I actually, there is footage somewhere of me just completely trashing. It's like, what the fuck is this? And I never posted it. And I
Yeah,
won't.
and I mean, I gave them feedback for it because they sent it, I said I wasn't gonna for sure review it, but I would at least let you know my thoughts, if I
Yeah.
like it, I'll like it, but there are a couple I was just like, I mean, I don't wanna say that I'm a influencer because I hate that term, but I do realize that the things that we say influence people,
Yeah.
and I got caught up with this early on when I was doing social media, buying everything that everyone recommended because I'm ADHD and impulsive buying is something that I struggle with, and that's why I have like 3 metal shelves filled to the gills with products because I just had to try it all. Um, and so I take it very seriously when I do a video and I recommend a product. I don't want to just put it out there because someone could be like me trying
Yeah.
to support their family and I don't want to be like, "Go buy it," when it's like, it's okay. I mean, if
Yeah.
you
It's
if you don't
whatever.
have a product and you need to get something done and you're at Walmart and you're like, "Okay, like it'll get the job done."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess that's some of the ones that I don't know. That was really the only ones. Everything else that people have sent me, it's been good. I mean, some have been borderline great, but it's getting hard to distinguish those great ones because I feel like every product coming out nowadays, they're all made from the same blender. So they're all very similar. It's just a different scent or maybe more surfactants. Maybe it suds a
Yep.
little more, doesn't sud. So it's
Yep.
just and when you can start to see those things and when you start to learn who the blended products are, you're just like, I feel like I just bought the same product 5 times over just with a different scent. And so that's getting
Yeah.
hard for me to love the products. When I find out that a company makes their own chemicals, like mixes it in-house and they're innovating, that to me is more impressive, even if they're a little bit behind because they're trying to do it on their own versus taking a formula from a big blender. and just
and
kind of,
just modifying it a bit and then selling it as their own proprietary. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the other reason why I stick to the same like 10 chemicals that I've been using for the last 6 years,
Hmm.
is because once you find that out, you don't want to overpay. Someone's like, oh, this is this, and then suddenly it's a dollar extra because they're a small business. But then it's like you really just bought from the same blender the big business is buying from, and then you put your own label on it. Is that worth the extra dollar? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of
Yes.
people in the chat are kind of saying the same thing. And I mean, that's the hard part of being, I don't want to say again, an influencer, but like, how many times can you make washing a car exciting? How many ways
Yeah.
can you make a tire cleaner like, wow, it's like it did the
Yeah.
job. It cleaned the tire, So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's something that I enjoy, but I don't know. I don't get caught up too much on the negativity with blasting products. If I don't like it, I just don't use it. But yeah. But when it comes to, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. When it comes to working in a saturated market, how do you find yourself setting yourself apart from your competition? Like, what are some things that you feel you're doing really good that other detailers need to kind of hone in to set themselves apart from competition?
I'm gonna be so dead ass, Chelsea. I have no detailing friends, so I don't know how other detailers are behaving in the wild. So I literally I
I
have
think
no
we're
clue.
friends, but
No,
I'm
okay,
like
sorry.
I'm not a shop.
I don't
I'm not a
have any
shop.
detailer. No, even like here in California, like mobile detail, like I don't like analyze other details or
You
hang
don't
out with
worry
any of.
about your competition.
I
You
just don't
stay in
even,
your
I
lane.
don't interact. I have no idea how your customer consultations are. I have no idea what your menu looks like. So I really like, as far as I go home and when I do scroll TikTok, it's none of it is car related. None of it is detailing related. Sorry, it is car related. A lot of like vintage Japanese cars show up, but none of it is detailing related on my For You page. So I don't have an answer to that, but what I take pride in and what I feel like I do really well at my shop is I'm really honest and transparent and informative and engaging with my customers. When they show up in person, it's not like oh, you're here for this? Thanks, bye, give me your keys. Like, I get to know them, and we discuss and I don't know, we just
What did you go to college for?
I went to learn history. I was going to teach history. That was
Cuz
my
you just seem like a very intellectual, very just you like to know what makes everything tick. And
yeah.
so with that you're able to explain it very simply for people. I think that's one of your strengths.
That's
So I'm
I'm
sure
hoping, yeah.
customers just feel really comfortable with you with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain was like, I always whenever you're talking, I'm like, "Wow, she's just so smart." Like I wonder about the background, like what made you so just
No, I
passionate about
just,
knowing things? Because you know a
I
lot
think
of random
that's,
things.
I don't even think that as any, I don't know. I think I'm just weird like that because know a bunch of really weird stuff that's completely even unrelated to my job. There was like one time I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and there's like Adirondack chairs, right?
Mhm.
That everyone had, like, you see them like posted up in the stack full in front of Home Depot. She's like, those are so ugly. I'm like, how did those take off? I'm like, well, because it was for medicinal reasons. Like, doesn't everybody know that? And she's like, what does Adirondack mean anyway? I'm like, don't you know that they were invented in the Adirondack Mountains? And I'm just like, I don't even know where I learned this stuff. And I really think it's just from like talking to people.
Are you
But I
ADHD?
no, I'm not. Which
I
is
was gonna say, because
she is
that's an
ADHD.
ADHD thing, because whenever you want to know about something, like you're just like constantly going down that rabbit trail. I know a lot of weird things too, but that's because my brain hyper focuses on them.
Oh, I really think I just like was out there in the world a lot, and I talked to a lot of people, and like a lot of things I learned is just from like talking to my customers.
Mhm.
And this is customers from food service and from detailing in the last, how long I've been working, like 15 years. And I am the type that you tell me something once, I'll remember it. So I don't know why I brought up this. She saw those chairs. I'm like, it's like common knowledge. She goes, no, it's not. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, someone told me about it, and it is what it is. But I don't know where I was going with this. But it's just like I know a lot of things. I don't think I don't hyperfixate as far as like the car detailing stuff. I just enjoyed it, and I taught myself and I learned as far as like a lot of other things in life. If I enjoy it, I'll just do it. But I think where I know that I'm not ADHD, well, one, my girlfriend can diagnose these things. That's her job, and she's like, not one thing about you is like anything like
No, if
neuro.
you have
Yeah.
impulse control and that the fact that you can put this down and be present,
Yes.
you're
I
not.
think that is why she's, because if I wanted to, if I were in the middle of a project and she was like, "Hey, we gotta go to dinner," I'm like, "All right, it is what it is," you know. Or like if she's like, "Drop it," I drop it. Or if
Yeah.
I think I need to drop it to move on to something else, to prioritize something else, I can. Whereas where she has ADHD, she literally cannot. She's fixated right now on her 10,000 steps a day, which I think is great. It's a goal. And I'm just like, don't hold yourself to this. We had a stressful day. Like, you don't need to just, I need to hit every day. I cannot. This is it. This is my plan for January. I'm like, okay,
So
I'll help
she's
you with
she's
this.
ADHD with a little OCD too. Okay.
Yeah, she definitely has OCD. There's a, yeah, she has like a whole Sunday
Why isn't
program
she
that she has to
detailing?
do.
She sounds like she'd be perfect at it.
And this is how I know I don't have ADHD, because at the end of the day, um, I'm running a business, right? If a customer pays for this, they're getting this. I can stop myself. And
Mhm.
I actually had to, when we first opened, we were so busy one time and we were overbooked and we were just like, growing pains. And I
Mhm.
actually was so behind. I was like, can you come in and help clean the inside of this Tacoma? And I said, it's just a basic wash. Like, mainly they're paying for a paint correction. She literally, like, full on steamer, extractor, everything. And I'm like, they're not paying for this. You can't do it. And she goes, I can't leave it. And so I can leave it. She can't. And
It
that's how I
it
know,
does
like,
it
I
does take
don't
some
have,
time.
yeah, I can stop where I need to stop. I can keep going where I need to keep going. I can look at this business. And that's why she said, I can never do what you do, because could only send a car out at 100%. And I go, not every car will get to 100%, and not every
Mhm.
customer wants 100%. And
Or
so
is willing to pay for that.
exactly. So I have no problem stopping on a car. I go, customer paid for this. We discussed, we consulted. Customer's focus was this part. I'm going to dial this part in to 100%. I'm going to get everything else up to 90%, like we discussed. And I can stop myself at that last 10%, where
Those
she
just aren't
can't.
the videos that you make a video with. Or those aren't the
Yeah.
cars that you make a video with. You're like, "Oh, just sort of move on."
Yeah.
Nobody looked behind the curtain on that one. But so that being said, you said that you don't really worry too much about other detailers or even see, so maybe this question may not apply. But like what do you see are some of the biggest mistakes detailers are making, either on social media or in their businesses? Or both?
I know a bigger problem with social or with detailers is they're just, and we briefly touched on this, is they're just buying a bunch of products and they think that that's going to fix it. Like, oh, I couldn't get this car corrected the way that I wanted because I didn't have this compound, so I'm going to go buy this
Mhm.
compound. It's most likely all the same blender. You just got to master the compound you have at hand. You got to master the products that you have at hand. So I think a lot of mistakes that a lot of new detailers are making, is just buying a bunch of shit they don't need. So I
Mhm.
think buy the right set of tools. Don't get caught up in the new pressure washer. I know there was a fad where this one pressure washer just took off and like everyone seemed to have it. And it was
Active.
like, there you go. Okay, thanks for saying it. It was the hot new pressure washer, right? And then a bunch of people I saw that bought it, it like didn't last or they're not using it anymore. I'm like, the
Yeah.
pressure washer isn't gonna change your your
End
business. Like
result,
you
yeah.
just, yeah, it's just like any pressure washer will work. It's a pressure washer, you know?
Yeah.
So
I bought
yeah.
the Active because of all of the hype and had to use a hammer to turn it on because the button stopped working, so
Oh, see? And I've been on my same what am I on? I'm on a Karcher right now, but before the Karcher I was on a Ryobi. I've
I
only
had a
had two.
Ryobi. It was
Yeah.
solid for 2 years until literally we got to the end of the 2-year warranty and it died.
It died. But
So,
then it was like, what? Did you get? I got mine on Black Friday for like $90. I
yeah.
can't complain for a $90 pressure washer.
I bought a new
It
one
made me
every
so
2
much money.
years. I
Yeah.
bought an yeah. When I was with Car Supplies Warehouse, as far as their gold member program, we used to get, like, some store credit from them back in the day, the good old
Yeah.
days. I bought the AR Blue 675 and I was like, "Okay, we're going in." Like, I'm gonna buy a really expensive, and it's very nice. I get people constantly because the Ryobi was super loud in
Yeah.
videos, and every now and then it would just lose pressure, and I'd be in the middle of a video, and you'd just hear, "Pew! Pew!" and I'm like, "Shut up." So,
Yeah.
I needed something that wouldn't interrupt my brain because if you I don't script any of my videos. I don't know if you do. Like, do you do everything? Like, do you just off the top of your head do
I
whatever comes out?
record as much as I can. When I go to edit, I just chop it up with like what I feel like is pertinent
You don't use an app or anything
footage.
like that?
I use an app. I use Splice,
Okay.
which I guess is a little bit like CapCut. And then
Can't
once
get
I
that
have like
anymore either.
yeah, that's gone too. Once I have like my minute and a half to 2 minutes of like what I deem important footage, when I cut out all the bullshit and trim the fat, as I say. Um, then when I do the voiceover, it's typically done in 10 minutes. I watch the video and I voice it over as I'm watching the video I just made. So no script.
I love it. That's why it's so just raw and realistic. I love it.
Yeah.
So I know we've been going for like an hour. I don't want to hold you up in your car. Is it cold where you're at? I don't
I don't, it's not, it's like 60. It's not bad.
I'm not fine. It was -14 outside this morning at our house.
Yeah, see, nothing
I
is
don't
bad
live in
here. I was like,
Canada.
oh, it's
Like
60.
in Canada. I don't understand this. My kids actually had a delay just because it was so cold outside. What is next for JT Mobile Detailing for Studio 94? If TikTok shuts down, we don't know. We got like a couple of
I
like a
think we
month
have
and a
90
half,
days, right?
75 days, something like that. I don't
Something
know.
like that. Oh, I don't even know. You would know more than me. But
Only because of
what's
this interview. I had to
oh,
like
okay.
study up.
Okay. What's next for me is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm on my at the shop. I have a BMW. I'm waiting to finish. I might be working on that till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Full front PPF. So just working. That's it.
If you had uh some tips on the up and coming detailing generation, what would you say?
Uh, Honestly, I this sounds so mean, but I really think like just shut up and work. Like just shut up and stay in your lane. Like I've hung out, and this is like not even detailing related. This is just like people related. I come across a lot of people, and they have this mentality of like, oh, my life would be better if this, if this, if this, if this. I'm like, just go do. Like we're sitting in we're having this conversation right now, and then you're complaining about your boss, your sister, your coworker. You're complaining about something, right? Oh,
Mhm.
I didn't life would have been different for me if I finished college. Like I didn't finish college either. Like you're preaching to the wrong person here. So it's like don't make it seem like the world is out to get you because you didn't finish college. I too didn't finish college, or because your mom didn't buy you the car you wanted growing up. Like I feel like I'm having so many conversations with people where they're making excuses. Um and I think just go do it. I don't know. Go do what you want to do. If you don't like your job but you're behind on bills, just keep going to work anyway. Start saving money, stop eating out. I don't know, do what it takes to survive. But yeah, I just had a conversation with someone too. They're like, yeah, dude, like I don't know. I just feel like my mom didn't care about me. She didn't buy me the right car when I was young, and I was like, I got my dad's hand me down Honda Civic with 280,000 miles on it. That did not affect me. Like you're hanging on to the wrong things here. So I'm just a little bit. This is coming off of like an intense conversation of someone feeding me like a bunch of bullshit. So I'm a little like bitter about this still. But it sounds harsh, but like really, just like stay in your lane. Don't be concerned that someone else got a car and you didn't. That someone else's parents like took you on vacations as a kid and you didn't get to go on vacations as a kid, and that set you up for failure in life somehow. I don't know, just go do. I feel like you get it, like your mom, like you're gonna do whatever it takes to feed your kids and keep them
Yeah.
warm and take care of them. You're not gonna look at another mom and be like, well, that other mom's not parenting right. You're just gonna stay in your lane and take care of your kids the way you know best. Like
Yeah.
I feel like inherently we as humans know what's best for us. Like just do what makes you feel good and stop focusing on other people, and then I think you'll be okay.
Well, and that translates so effortlessly to detailing because you probably are not in Facebook social media groups for detailing. I don't ever really see you chatting in them, but there is this constant frustration from other detailers when they'll post like, this guy down the street is doing details for $99. How can I compete with that? And pretty much what everyone says is just like exactly what you said. Just focus on you.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. Like that guy, customers are going to see through that. They're not going to stick around long term. Just develop your skills, develop your relationships with your customers, and don't worry about it. And I've
Yeah.
taken that mentality because I live like you in a very saturated area. We're near the Mannheim Auto Auction. And so there's at least a dozen detailers like within a mile of me.
Oh wow.
And some of them are very high end. Some of them are like your Clipper double take deals where they're doing everything for $100 and you get a free car wash. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I want that deal. And I used to stress about that, especially being a female in a very male dominated industry, having to kind of prove myself to customers. I would always worry about it. And when I just kind of stopped looking on the peripheral and just focusing on what was in front of me, making sure that I was doing the best work that I could do and just working on those skills, everything just naturally kind of started to flow.
Yeah, I think
So,
you focus less of your energy in the outside and you take that wasted energy, you put it back inwards,
mhm.
like you'll find that you'll just succeed and go so much further.
Well, and a lot more joy too, because you're not so worried
Yeah,
about everything that you really can't control. I've
yeah,
learned in my 40 years of life, to not really get upset about things that I can't control, and that's namely other people. I can control me, I can work on me, and that's really all I can do, you
yeah,
know? I can't worry about other people being anxious or angry all the time. I can manage my response to that. So, yeah. A lot of that is just time and experience that sometimes it takes. I always ask this one question. I'm going to let you go with this last question and you don't have to keep it long, but if you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would you say to them?
you
I know
know
I go a
what?
little deep on that one.
I don't have a lot of regrets in life.
That's
My only
awesome.
regret, really, I would go back and I would say stop buying so many fucking cars because the housing
You just
market.
bought one, Jess.
No, because the house at this point, I'm a lost cause. But the housing market is so hard in California, and I'm looking back at all of my cars. That would have totaled a down payment. So that is my advice to myself. I would go back in time, and be like, you didn't need the Xterra, you didn't need the BMW, you didn't need the Tacoma, you didn't need three Honda Civics, you didn't need what other car? You didn't need the Jeep Wrangler. That was a waste of money. You didn't need the second Xterra. You didn't need what other cars did I have? I don't know. I would say stop buying so many cars. I'm actually having that conversation with my little brother right now. He wants this. He has a Forerunner. He wants to do such crazy stuff with it. His wheel setup alone is going to cost him like four
The
grand. And I'm
the
just,
15-year-old?
yeah. And I'm trying to tell him like,
Can he even
that four
drive?
thousand. He's getting his learner's permit. But I'm telling him like he's got these big plans for this car that
Yeah.
he already has. My mom got it for him. And I'm like, the $4,000 wheel setup you have could go into a Roth IRA. It's like this. If I could go back, I would not have bought all those cars, and I would
Yeah.
have invested. I would have not even invested. I would have just maxed out my Roth every year, which is like a measly. Back then it was 6K. Now we're at 7K. But if I just maxed out my Roth IRA every year, starting when I was 18, um, I would have been a homeowner. So
You
it
just
is
need
what
to
it
move to
is.
another state, Jess, and then you could
I
totally be a
can't. I
homeowner.
can't. Chelsea, you just said it was 14 degrees there. I'm sitting in this Tesla in Steel Beach.
I said
I'm looking
negative
negative
14.
14. Holy shit. No, I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean and I'm just vibing. So I cannot leave. I love Southern California, but
I mean, I grew up in Florida. I get it. The ocean is awesome. I'm not a big fan of the ocean though for some reason. I'm a pool girl. I don't
the
like
pool's, well,
salt.
because it's cleaner and then the
Yeah.
sand gets everywhere.
I don't
But
like
it's
that sticky
nice.
feeling.
But it's nice to like walk along the boardwalk of the ocean, but not actually like go into the sand because then it gets all dirty. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I would not have bought so many cars. I would have bought the one. I would have drove it in the ground. I wouldn't have been so concerned with car vanity. Because like yeah, now I'm at the place in my life where you can just buy a car, and I'm like, if I just had a little discipline when I was younger, by the time I turned 30. I could have gotten my Tacoma then, my Tundra then, my, even more than that. I probably could have gotten like a Ford Raptor, which is the real truck that I want. So it is what it is.
Wow. I thank you so much for coming on. I want to let you go. I feel like it's been really good to catch up with you. It's been
Yeah,
like a year, over a year. Actually, it was April of was it 2022?
it's been over a year. It
I
was
keep
22.
saying
You're right.
last year cuz I forget we're in 2025 now.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was 22, right? No, it was 23.
It was
It was
23.
23. It
April
was
23.
23.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
23.
it's been really good and hopefully we'll be able to have you on I don't know, sooner rather than later just to catch up. If this is the only way that I can catch up with you, I'll take it. But
Honestly, whenever you want me on, and I won't be in my car next time. This was like a fluke because he was supposed to have, my mom was supposed to take him. But yeah,
you're a good sister. But
yeah,
thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed getting to know Jess's story a little bit, how she kind of got her crazy start on TikTok and learned some tips along the way. But thank you so much, Jess, for your friendship, for coming on. And hopefully you will stay safe with the fires and everything and that the
yeah.
winds die down. So we're praying for all of your friends out there. But anyways, next week, what we're going to be doing is having Jillian from Superior Products on. So if any of you guys have questions about Superior Products, have you ever tried them, Jess?
I have not. Is that Superior Image or just
No.
Superior? Oh,
Superior
I.
Products. They actually make car wash chemicals, but then they started doing like detailing stuff as well.
Oh, cool.
Do you have an O'Reilly's out there?
We do. They're in O'Reilly's.
They sell at O'Reilly's.
Okay.
So if there's one product from them that you should check out, Dark Fury. It's like a brown product. You've
I've
probably
heard of Dark
seen,
Fury. Okay, so I do know of Superior because I know of Dark Fury,
yeah,
the wheel
it's,
cleaner, right?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I use it for like door jams, engines, floor mats, everything that's like
Okay.
degreasing, road film remover, bug tar remover. You kind of have to learn how to dilute it properly so it doesn't stain the paint because it's like a pH of 14. It's wicked, but it's stellar. So we're gonna have Jillian, who's one of the owners from Superior Products, on. She's gonna share all the tips about their products, let us know about their brand, so maybe you can tune in, Jess, and learn something new. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. here at the Thor channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Jess, I'll see you hopefully, maybe if they let me back on TikTok. TikTok.
Yeah, I
I'll
gotta.
see you on Instagram
Okay.
though. All right.
All right.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Jess.
Bye.